This is a perfect two times the Gilbert region. So we finish our topic, economic and social development. This is the part 2 of the video for the topic economic and social development. So the first thing that we're going to talk about in this video is banking. Since we're talking about development, banking is very important. Now, what is a bank? A bank is simply a financial institution that collects surplus funds from the general public. A financial institution that collects surplus funds from the general public. Surplus funds, that means you have the money that you use for consumption, for daily expenses. Now, the money that remains, the money that you do not use, is the one we are referring to as surplus. Surplus, in other words, excess. The excess. So, what is banking? Banking is simply the act of saving money in a bank. That is what we call banking. So, bank, financial institution that collects surplus funds from the general public. Banking is the act of saving money in the bank. Now, we have types of banks. Types of banks. The first one is the central bank. Central bank. The central bank, just from the word itself, central, means the principal financial institution in a country. Principal, the main, the supreme institution, which acts as a what? Regulator of the banking system. In Zambia, the central bank is known as the what? The BOZ, the Bank of Zambia. That is our central bank. So central banks do not deal directly with the general public, no. You cannot go to Bank of Zambia and say, I want to open an account. No. They deal with what? Commercial banks and government. They deal with commercial banks and the government. So, what are some of the functions of the central bank? Since we are saying they do not directly deal with the general public, individuals like us. Here are some of the functions of central bank. Keeping money for commercial banks. We have these commercial banks like Mazanako, FNB, Indo, Zambia Bank, and others. But the central bank, since it's the principal financial institution, it keeps money for all these commercial banks. Meaning, Zanaco keeps money from what? From Bank of Zambia. See? So, this is a principal financial institution. You can just imagine the amounts of money it deals with. Now, you go with a 10,000, I want to open an account. It is not possible. Then, keeping government revenues. Money generated by government is kept by the what? By the central bank. Issuing banknotes and coins. The central bank is responsible for printing of what? The banknotes, the money we use. And producing coins. The coins, they are the ones who are responsible for that. Then lending money to commercial banks. Zanaco can borrow money from Bank of Zambia. FNB can borrow money from Bank of Zambia. That is the responsibility of the central bank. It should lend money to commercial banks. These are some of the functions of what? The central bank. In Zambia, it's the Bank of Zambia. The Bank of Zambia. So now, commercial banks, we've been saying, they function or one of the functions of the central bank is to lend money to commercial banks. Now, let us talk about these commercial banks. Commercial banks are controlled by what? By central banks. They are financial institutions with government licenses to operate in financial matters. So this is where we have Sanaco, FNB, Atlas Mara Bank, AB Bank, Indo Bank. All those banks are falling under commercial banks. So now, what are some of the basic functions of commercial banks? 1. Collect surplus funds from the general public. As now, the money that we can save, the money that we are not able to use at that particular time, take it to the bank, save, so that you can use it in the future. So, collect surplus funds from the general public, then carries out transactions on behalf of clients. As now, you want to buy a vehicle from Japan, you can pay using the what? The bank. You can pay using the bank. The bank can also pay for you. So that is carrying out transactions on behalf of clients. Then lend surplus funds to customers. You can get a loan from the bank. So it is like the central bank lends money to commercial banks. Then commercial banks lend money to the general public. That's how the chain is. Then they also advise clients on business matters. You go to the bank, they can advise you, okay, since you have gotten this loan, I think the business which may be suitable for you is this one, this one. They will advise you. So they advise clients on business matters. They also look after variables such as insurance policies, wills, title deeds, and precious stones like gold, emerald, and others. Those are some of the functions of the commercial banks. So follow the chain here. We have central banks, then we have commercial banks, then the general public. This is how the chain is. The central bank is keeping money for the commercial bank. The commercial banks keep money for the what? For the general public. I think you have gotten it there. We proceed. Now, commercial banks attract deposits from the public in 3 main forms. Or let me simply say there are 3 types of accounts. The accounts which you can open, the accounts which you can use to save money in bank. The first one is the current account. When you open a current account, 1, you'll be given a checkbook because it is subject to transfer by check. You can pay using a check when you have a current account with the bank. You can withdraw money anyhow, anytime, as long as you want to do so. You can deposit money anyhow, anytime, as long as you want to do so. That is for the current account. Then we have the deposit account. The deposit account, you cannot transfer money by check. That's if you have the deposit account. You cannot transfer money by check. Then you cannot also withdraw on demand. When you open up a deposit account, you don't just go to the bank, no, I want to withdraw money. You should make a notice of withdrawal. You tell the bank, next month I'll withdraw this amount of money, so that they know. That is for the deposit account. Withdrawal is not done on demand, but a period of notice must be made. Example of a deposit account is a savings account. You open a savings account. Say, okay, I will withdraw after 3 months. You'll be saving until 3 months. That's when you can withdraw. That's why it is known as a deposit account. We have the large fixed term deposit account. This one is nearly the same as the deposit account. It's just that the large fixed term deposit account involves higher rates of interest and large sums of money. You want to save huge amount of money. You use the large fixed term deposit account. For this one, there is no interest. For this one, there is interest. For this one, the large fixed term deposit account, there is higher rates of interest, higher, because you deposit large sums of money and it's for a fixed period of time. For example, 2 years. You deposit 100,000, say, I'll withdraw after 2 years. Maybe you want to save for your university and everything. You say, I will withdraw after 2 years. They will give you a higher rates of what? Interest. That is for the fixed term deposit account. These are the many, or let me say the basic accounts that you have.